Very informal, just a bunch of critics sitting around and recommending a movie that you own that might not be a huge hit, but that others would enjoy being stuck at home. So let's start. Let's go to Canada, to Bonnie. Hi, Bon.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good.
What do you have for us?
Okay, here is one of my all-time favorite films. Every time I watch this movie, I cry my head off, and here it is. Big Fish.
Oh, nice
Big
movie.
Fish.
Who loves Big
I'm not
Fish?
dead. I'm home.
Oh, Greg
Greg!
Russell's joined us from Detroit. Big Fish. Go ahead. Tell what do you love about it? Because that's
Okay, so here's the backstory. If people have not seen Big Fish, or if you can find it, I'm not sure if it's on Netflix. I didn't check, but I'm sure you can find it somewhere, streaming somewhere. You can find it. It's basically, it stars Albert Finney, Ewan McGregor, Billy Crudup, has Jessica Lange, has such a great cast. It is directed by one of my favorite directors, Tim Burton, and it's basically about a story of an old man who's dying, who was a traveling salesman, and he is on basically his deathbed, and his son is played by Albert Finney. His son is Billy Crudup, and he tells all these kind of crazy, wacky stories about people he met back in the day, and his son is just trying to figure out, like, is my father like going crazy, or is this all true? And in flashbacks, it's young Albert Finney is played by Ewan McGregor. And it's just such a beautiful story. It's so heartwarming. I felt very connected to it because my dad was very, very close to his uncle, my grandmother's brother. My dad's father passed away when he was younger, so he basically was like a second father to my dad. And one thing about my Uncle Dave was he used to tell these phenomenal stories, and we never knew if they were true or not. And so the first time I ever saw Big Fish, I think it connected to me more on a personal level because the Albert Finney character was my Uncle Dave. And I remember having to tell my dad about this movie because I said, you've got to watch this movie. And I made my dad watch it before he passed away. And the first thing he said to me, he goes, "Oh my God, that's Uncle Dave."
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? So it just is such a wonderful film. And so, if you haven't seen it, or if you have seen it, watch it again. It's just such a good, feel-good film. And it's a great thing to watch in isolation, as far as my opinion.
I sobbed like a pig during that one. I was like just flying awful, vomity sobs. It was
Wasn't that
big
the manual? Comedy sobs.
Big time ugly
I
cries.
was vomiting when I was doing it, but that's here and there.
Yeah, big time ugly cries with this movie, but it's really worth it. Really
I agree. Let's stay in Canada. Carey, what do you have?
Well, I've kind of finding now with everything going on with pandemic that I'm really looking for a lot of lighter things to watch. Something that kind of celebrates the absurdity. So I've kind of been delving into the Mel Brooks collection and things like that. But one of the things I've been delving back to is some of the classic Jerry Lewis comedies of the 50s and 60s. And one of my all-time favorites was one called The Geisha Boy from the 60s.
I remember
Jerry plays basically an old-time military entertainer, and he's also like a magician who travels. And he ends up in Japan and develops a friendship with a young Japanese boy. And he has a pet rabbit called Harry. And this rabbit is the subject of many great sight gags in the film. And it also stars a young Suzanne Plachette, who was amazingly drop-dead gorgeous. Still was back in the Bob Newhart days as well. But, Jerry Lewis can be a little bit of an acquired taste. Some of the stuff doesn't translate as well. Some of it doesn't kind of live up to today's standards, but some of it's just got an amazing energy. He made a lot of films with a director named Frank Tashlin, who used very cartoon, big, beautiful, bold colors and things like that. So it was some great fun. I showed it to my kids. They thought it was hilarious. So some of the humor does hold up a lot in these Jerry Lewis movies, and it's just fun to get a laugh. I'm late to the party when it comes to the show Ozark. I've been loving it, but it's so damn heavy. So it's just nice to have a little bit of levity, kind of sprinkle in your film.
And Lee Thomas has joined us. Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Hello, Lee.
Hey.
Carrie, I love those too. I have the whole collection sitting back here at home in the closet.
Do you have the Martin and Lewis ones too?
I do.
You have seen Sailor Beware? Do you remember that one?
Yes. Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
All right, Grae Drake, what do you got?
Okay, so full disclosure, I am a huge fan of movies that are so bad they're good. It's a really difficult sweet spot to hit, but when it hits, it's absolutely amazing. Now, I don't own many DVDs, but when I do own a DVD, and
Love
so one of the many things that makes this movie amazing is that it is not a sequel to the movie Troll, first of all. Just inexplicably, an Italian writer and director, the team made Troll 2, and it just stands on its own. So don't expect any answers to your burning questions from the movie Troll. This family does a house exchange for the summer, and they go to they go from the city to a town named Nilbog, which is goblin spelled backwards. All the practical effects are terrible. The acting is the worst, but it's so earnest. And everybody's trying so hard that it has sort of like gained cult status. And it's actually tied to a really amazing documentary called Best Worst Movie.
That's great.
So the child actor from Troll 2 made a documentary about the making of Troll 2 like decades later as an adult. And they both are just exceptional. It's like nothing cheers me up like a shot of Troll 2, and it's limitless terribleness.
Well, sticking in that genre, let's go to Butch. Butch, you were at a Munster. What movie are you going to recommend?
Well, when you asked me to come on this, we were talking about Munster Go Home with the re-release, and as much as I would like to talk about that, I'm not going to. I'm going to bring up. I watched this last night, as a matter of fact, and this is Cary Grant and Myrna Loy, Melvin Douglas in the Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House. And the reason I brought this up is Cary Grant and Myrna Loy, and for that matter, Melvin Douglas, that was really like the golden age of Hollywood. Cary Grant was a very great comedy actor. His screwball comedies, I've always been a big fan of, Bringing Up Baby and stuff like that. And when I was watching this movie last night, I enjoy black and white anyway as a genre for movies. And his character and the building of this house reminded me a lot of the Money Pit, an early version of the Money Pit, which was basically, I suppose, very much a continuation of that. But I'm a big Cary Grant fan. I think he was kind of like underrated. I don't think he ever received an Oscar, if I remember correctly. But what a talent. And then Myrna Loy, she was great in this. So I actually just watched this last night. And my sister, since I'm at my sister's house, I don't have my videos to watch or DVDs. So she has this whole collection of Cary Grant. And I'm looking forward to seeing, we got My Favorite Wife, we got Night and Day, we've got The Bachelor and the Bobby Soxer, and of course a war movie, Destination Tokyo. So I'm pretty much set up for the next 5 days.
Yeah. Great. All right.
And we do have the Blu-ray of Munster Go Home with me and Rob Zombie that just came out. So if you want to see the Munsters in color, there you go.
All right.
Any memories of making that?
Excuse me?
Any memories of making that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was, two things, number one, come to mind. Number one, it was in color. And we had finished the series. It was nice to regroup to do one little 6-week run. And I remember the English actors, Terry Thomas, Hermione Gingold, John Carradine, even though he wasn't English, he was playing the butler. It was very, very funny to act like we were in England with Richard Dawson was in it. Oh, my God, we had a different Marilyn with Debbie Watson. And we had Chris Pine's father from Roger.
Robert.
He was Roger Moresby. What is this guy's name from Chips that played the sergeant?
Robert Pine.
Robert Pine, yeah, Chris's father was in it as the love interest for Marilyn. So we had a lot of interesting people in the show. It was very, very entertaining. And the fact that it was in color was a big to-do because everybody knows it as a black and white show. And it was pretty much put into production to introduce the Munsters to the rest of the world so they could syndicate it. And so there was a business ploy involved.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got the inside scoop. Thank you.
Yeah,
Butch.
I love that.
You got
That's
it.
awesome. Thank you.
All right, Detroit, Greg Russell, hit us.
Hey, great to see everybody. Everybody
Detroit.
looks good.
Detroit. 2 Detroits.
Yeah, 2. One here and then one down there.
Yeah.
I've got a
not Mose,
couple which
not him.
are almost kind of like bookends, especially if you like Jimmy Cagney. As we all know, he was part of the whole Warner Brothers group back in the late 20s, early 30s, where they had the best gangster films. And so the one that really made him, the star was Public Enemy. He played Tom Powers. I mean, he was just this ruthless gangster guy during Prohibition. His own brother always wanted to beat him up. And he and his friend just kind of went out and did whatever they want. In fact, the famous scene where he's got the half a grapefruit and smashes it into his girlfriend's face, which everybody kind of, even to this day is going, oh my God, how can you do that? Is from that movie. Now, at the end of the film, of course, his character, 60 or 70 years, spoiler alert, he gets killed. Sorry. But I didn't ruin it for anybody.
You ruined it.
Who made it.
Geez, I wanted to see it.
But, he gets killed, and Cagney was kind of like, a little bit tired of always playing a gangster, so he wanted to do other things, which he did. But then in 1949, this movie came along, White Heat, where he played Cody Jarrett, and the character was almost as if Tom Powers, if he hadn't died in that one, this would have been him. Another ruthless character, cared about no one, was lawless, had a big-time mother complex. I mean, he loved his mom. And after something happened to mom, he just kind of went nuts. But at the end of the movie is one of the most famous scenes in Hollywood. He's standing at this gas, place where they make
refinery.
Gas. That's it. Butch, thank you. Up at the top, and he's going, "Look, Ma, on top of the world!"
And he dies.
And his deal was, that's when he blew up, ever being another criminal. And that was the last time he ever played a gangster in a movie.
Wow.
Quick question for you.
Yeah.
Is it true that the grapefruit scene was improvised?
That's what I heard. It's just like he had it right there, and it's kind of like it's like you're gonna need a bigger boat. Wasn't in the movie, but made the film, and that right.
I think that's what I was told. Yeah.
Back to Canada, Mose Persico.
Hey, guys. Well, first of all, Gino, when you asked us to select a movie which wasn't completely mainstream and wasn't a popular movie, it's a good thing you asked us to do this because, during this isolation process, we've been cleaning our house and getting rid of stuff and all that. And I found a movie that is absolutely a must-see, which I came across. This is called I Promise. It was my first movie ever, which I did, which you'll find on YouTube. And I play my first acting role. I'm a father to 2 kids. So if you really want to see some amazing acting, tune into
I'm going to go grab one of mine then.
It's a very short movie. 12, and I even got my name on the poster of the movie. It was so fun. And I even in the back, you see me in the scene in the back there, So look up I Promise. You can't go wrong. It's 12 minutes of, I should have been nominated, but I wasn't.
I think the movie opened on an airline.
To find a movie. That's right. You can watch
It's weird. I have it right here, Mose, and I use it as a coaster. Glasses on.
Good. But one movie which I came across, which I swear, because we get tons of screeners to see, and let's admit, we can't watch all the movies that we do get from these wonderful studios that send us during award season. But one I came across, which was completely amazing. This, Sorry to Bother You. This is an unbelievable, funny film. It stars as Lakeith Stanfield. And, these days of the COVID-19 pandemic with everybody's scams going across the board, this is about a telemarketer that discovers a way to become not only famous, but make loads of money off the backs of people. And it's directed by the hip hop artist, Boots Riley. And I'm telling you, I opened it up. It was absolutely entertaining. It's fascinating. And when you look at the quotes, because we're all quote people, we kind of like to give quotes. Some of the quotes really make sense. Get Out on acid, which was, I thought, I looked at the box, and we all love the movie Get Out. So when I saw that quote by Dana Harris of IndieWire, I said, let me put this in the CD player and see DVD player and see what happens. And you'll be really entertained. I strongly recommend it. It's really outlandish. It's way out there, but it's fun.
Jose, can you center it in the middle of the screen because we can't see it? Can you center it over in the middle of the screen because we couldn't see it? I just want to see there a little more. There we go. Perfect.
Yeah, there.
All right, great.
Watch it. You will be entertained, and I'm telling you guys, you're gonna say, why didn't we junket this movie when you watch it?
All right, back to Detroit. Lee Thomas. Hi, Lee.
But then again, this is the one you really want to see.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get on that.
Okay.
I love Bonnie's reaction to "I Promise." That was the best.
See it. Do it again, Bonnie.
All right.
You can watch it in the playback.
All right.
All right. So I didn't talk to Greg. There's no theme going here, but I got to shoot him up as well. Like, it's an old school shoot 'em up. You guys may have heard of it. 1996. Let's see if I can go full screen.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. All right, Lee.
Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis. And It's got characters like Bruce Dern is in it. I think Christopher Walken plays a character called Hickey. Yeah, don't get Hickey here. And it's about 1930s prohibition. It's two different gangs that run this town, and it's really a Western masked in the 1930s. But the Italian gang is against the Irish gang, and the Doyles are here. Don't call Hickey. Hickey will come, and Bruce will. Who's Hickey? He goes to the sheriff, played by Bruce Dern. He says, "This is happening, sheriff." And Bruce Dern says, "Well, I recommend you get yourself a gun." It's just a straight up shoot 'em up that I pulled out the other day, and I said I'm going to watch it tonight.
I love that movie.
Really love this movie.
Excellent. Well, I'm sorry we're out of time. We're not going to be able to get to Sam in Tampa. But no, Sam, what do you have?
Well, I initially, my reaction was to go for my favorite movie of all time, which is, of course, Waiting for Guffman. But I think that's a little too mainstream, and everyone knows Waiting for Guffman. So I went to the mighty hall of screeners that I have, which is just a closet that's just loaded with these things. And I came across a couple of jewels, some of which I didn't expect. Mannix, the first scene.
Oh, Mannix! Oh, great.
Gomer Pyle, USMC. That's when I'm going to crack open my personal. Canon season 1.
Oh, these are good.
The byline on the back of this reads, "This cannon is locked, loaded, and primed for action."
350 pounds in a Mark IV.
As long as there's no running.
But I figured I was going to move on to there were two that came out of the hall of screeners that leapt out that I don't think a whole lot of people know about, but you guys all probably know it anyway. But this is the first one. It's called No Man's Land. I don't know if you guys ever remember this, but we junketed this at the Toronto Film Festival. It's about two guys in a ditch in the Bosnian War, and they're like caught in between their two enemies. And they're stuck in this ditch.
Yeah.
And they're sort of supposed to kill each other, but they're in a political quandary because they're not supposed to kill each other because they're in the ditch in between the two war zones. And it's
like us in the hospitality suite.
Right. I don't even hear you. Anyway, the thing that I remember most about this movie is that the two guys that we interviewed were pissed as hornets. I don't know what the problem was. Maybe it was two people that didn't like me anymore. I don't know what it was, but they were two of the single nastiest people I have ever interviewed in my entire life.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Yeah. They made Tommy Lee Jones like a teddy bear. Anyway, this is a good one. Just realize what pain it was interviewing them. Okay. And the other one is this one, Birthday Girl. How many people saw this one?
I've seen it.
Yep.
This was a great film that made about 1 cent, I think, at the box office. But the thing is I think it has the best plot twist in the middle of it. You know, it's a guy that sends out for a mail order bride, and something happens that I don't want to suggest that nobody has seen it or to anybody who hasn't seen it, but something happens in the middle. And I didn't watch anything about this film going into the interviews. When I got out, I saw the trailer, and they gave everything away in the trailer. It's one of those classic films. They gave the entire plot.
Does he die?
In the trailer. Huh?
So he dies?
No, they make him watch your movie. that you're in, Mose.
And they know.
Those are my two.
I
I'm
promise.
going with this one first. I'm going with this one.
And I don't want to be the typical critic with, oh, you got to watch a foreign film. I'm not big on a lot of foreign films, but Amelie.
Oh,
This
best. Yeah,
movie
that's
so
good.
much. First of all, you're stuck inside. If you didn't even listen to this movie, just saw it, it is so beautifully shot. The colors in this movie are so good. Audrey Tattoo, not that I'm a fan of it or anything, but
There was your Roma poster at first.
Yeah, right.
No, but I love this movie so much, and I just hearing everybody's reaction. If you are not charmed by this movie, there's something wrong. It's a great one to watch while you're stuck in the house. I think it's great. So let's just go around where everyone can see you or watch you. Bonnie?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm on CH Morning Live, Sirius XM, channel 167, originalsin.ca, my YouTube channel, Bonnie Laufer. You can tweet me or Instagram me, Bonnie B, and @movie_Bonnie BONI. So lots of places to find me.
All right, Carey?
Well, you can find me at my new position at a marketing firm. So we're looking to actually bring aboard a new theater client.
Okay.
In Calgary, so fingers
Great.
crossed on that. So, and in the meantime, I enjoy watching all of you guys and hearing and seeing all your posts. So,
Thank
keep up
you.
the good work.
Okay, Grae.
You can find me
on Live in the D, which is on the NBC station here in Detroit, WDIB, every Friday. Also every Sunday on My TV 20 and also Channel 38 with Movie Show Plus, and also the Greg Russell Movie Show on NRM Stream. So there you go.
Okay, and Grae, I was talking to you, but go
I
ahead.
thought you said Greg. I'm sorry.
It's fine. You know what, Greg? Just do mine for me too. It's fine.
I'm Grae Drake, and you can find me everywhere. I am universal.
I'm
Anytime
everywhere.
you're on a TV or anything, I'm there.
Just look for the hair. You'll
There you
find
go.
it. You'll find me most prominently on my Instagram channel. It's my name, GraeDrake.
Okay, Mose?
Well, you can find me here, and I promise for sure.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
CTV Montreal, Mose at the Movies, Mike FM 105.1 here in Montreal, Instagram, of course. I don't do a lot of Twitter, but Facebook and all that stuff.
Oh, let's go. I'm sorry, let's go to the very safe Butch Patrick, now wearing a mask.
Excellent.
You can find me at Munsters.com. How appropriate. Also, I have a YouTube channel that is Coach to Coast, spelled with a K, like the Munster Coach, to Coast, KOAST. And that's my YouTube channel. And on Facebook, I've got several pages you can track me down. Thanks a lot for having me on.
Oh, it was great.
Great.
Oh, yeah. I'm on Fox 2 Detroit, of course, morning show, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then you can find me at Critically Movies, where you'll find my movie show on Facebook, at Critically, L-E-E, Critic L-E-E Movies.
Okay, Sammy.
WJXT and TV in Jacksonville and WWSB in Sarasota, two towns in Florida here.
Excellent. I'm on Fox 6, WITI Milwaukee, fox6now.com. And I love you guys. This was so much fun. I hope we can do it again.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can I say something?
so.
I want to say something before we
Echo
leave.
movie too.
Wait, Butch has something.
I want everybody to Google Jerry Cooney, the boxer, and tell me that Gino doesn't look like him.
Okay.
Looks like a lot of people.
All right, show the movies. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Big,
See you guys.
Take care.
I promise.
Yeah.
big fish. Big fish.
Oscar.
Thanks, guys. That was too much fun.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Oscar.
Okay.
Bye,
Anytime.
everybody. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.